being honest with how I feel and what I'm doing, and understanding that where I was at was not making me happy, and doing things to change that.
Do you think you were victimizing yourself when you were a feminist?
Look at this amazing feminist transformation.
Feminism is a scam. A few years ago, I was an angry, blue-haired feminist. I once believed that male privilege was real and that I was a victim of the wage gap. Now that I understand the true motives of feminism, I know that this could not be further from the truth, and that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity. Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state. All of this ultimately disrupting the family unit at its core. Feminism is defined as the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. But in the West, I must ask, what rights do men have that women don't? Modern feminists are convincing women that hookup culture, using hormonal birth control, and not shaving is liberation. That toxic masculinity is prevalent and the patriarchy must be dismantled. Through movies and media, we're taught that working for the man, climbing the corporate ladder, and paying tax is more empowering and valuable than raising the next generation. Women have lost touch with our natural loving instincts, and birth rates are plummeting. Men and women are not the same. And by protesting for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating men.
So you saw the clip. This lady got a bunch of attention. She gained actually way more hate than I thought. They strawman her points that she's just trying to point out and everything. And SNEAKO came out of the band. He simulated a rough funky time. Everybody labeled it as a this that I can't even say right now. So he decided to do an interview with this woman.
You know how there's like life coaches and people that tell you what to do and how to be happy, but they haven't actually done anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can just speak from my experience, and I was, living the dream, you know, traveling, performing, doing what I wanted to do ever since I was a child, but I was also a little bit lost and off the path, and in there were my blue-haired feminist vegan days, and I've certainly learnt a lot since then, and I'm definitely a lot happier now. And I think the things that have helped me has been meditation, actually taking care of my body, and, you know, I'm not really embracing hookup culture. I mean, I don't really find that to be fun or fulfilling at all.
So
I think that, make me happy is, I love cooking, nourishing my body, spending a lot of time in nature. I love grounding.
I think a lot of people, they don't treat their body in the way that they appreciate their body by themselves. They can appreciate the body depending on how they spend it with somebody else. As if you have no identity for your body unless somebody gives you a purpose. I think that's very bad. If you don't even like yourself when you're alone, why would somebody like you, what you can bring?
Being able to perform and express myself online, and I think being more honest and practicing speaking my truth, as lame as that sounds. You know, I think with girls, I think we have the tendency to avoid confrontation and kind of manipulate different situations and circumstances. So really embracing being radically honest, and has been a pretty big game changer for me. And
as I told you before, radically honest. If you're honest with yourself, with your purpose and the thing that you want to do, it's good. For me, personally, what I've heard from all my friends that say hey, I've experienced this, is that a woman isn't honest when things get a little more stressful, as if they're not comfortable to be honest because they're afraid to hurt you. So they actually lie to you so you're comfortable. What they don't realize is by lying to protect themselves, they create a different identity for the person that they lied to. So this person is going to be like, yo, you lied for a reason because the topic is important. They remember that important topic, not as if you are remembering the lie. So when your lie break, they break, and when they break, you're like, oh my God, you offended me. And like, whoa. I think honestly is the basic thing that we need, and just accept our limits. Accept that we are different than men, we're not all the same, and just appreciate the things that we can just do better. It's not a competition. I don't want to be with a woman that I have to compete. I want a certified woman. You can call it slavery if you want, but once you're in your 40s and 50s, you're going to be like, I'm lucky. Like, nah. You didn't want to be part of this slavery because it takes work to have what I have. I might not be an entrepreneur in business, but I'm an entrepreneur in woman. I focus on one and doing things that people call me a simp, a beta, or whatever, or I'm not a high value man, but I'm being from man and woman, so I don't freaking care. I have something that few have these days, and I appreciate it, and I throw it in your face by just living a normal life. And now I'm selfish.
Being honest with how I feel and what I'm doing, and understanding that where I was at was not making me happy, and doing things to change that.
Do you think you were victimizing yourself when you were a feminist?
Yeah. 100%.
Yes!
I loved being the victim.
Why did you love being the victim? What type of dopamine did you get from that?
Well, I think radical responsibility and radical honesty is something that everyone should embrace a little bit more. And I think,
ooh, radical responsibility. Hey, that actually sounded very good. When somebody said, I'm a feminist, well, I like radical honesty. Or responsibility, yeah. Ambassador Face is gonna switch. Oh, why did you tell me that? I don't know. I don't like feminism as much as you, but I like that more. I think it tackles men and women, not something that's called feminism.
if you're always searching for reasons why you're not where you want to be at in life, or it's easier to say I'm a victim of this than actually do something about it.
True.
Why do you think, so you think most girls choose the victim mentality because it's easier than taking accountability and trying to make yourself better?
Yeah, and I think, I talk a lot about how through movies and media we're kind of coerced into, you know how they embrace hookup culture, they embrace being the strong independent woman and not
Hoe phase.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine that you
think about it. We don't have a male talk show that talks of male stuff just like they talk about women. We don't have the View for male. It doesn't exist. They've all been cancelled because they don't like how the man sometimes talks about certain responsibility issues that women have. That a woman cut a few clips from The View when they were a little more responsible the way they talk. I bet you didn't put that woman when she was laughing about the possibility of cutting a pee-pee, throw it in a blender, and it's funny that it goes blinking, blinking, blinking when it's spinning around. And the whole audience of the women were laughing. They didn't need a man on the side be like, hey, clap now. Everybody clap. It's just like, well, I didn't see anything. Of course you didn't see anything, but for some odd reason, me with one eye see more than you.
you can say that definitely influenced you, but once you're aware of what's happening, you can change it. You don't have to be that victim anymore. You don't have to embrace any of those concepts. If you've made all your friends through the dating clubbing scene, you can just completely turn your life around, go to the farmer's market, meet people who are more aligned with where you want to be. And
True.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly toxic, and it's good to...
Where and why do you think most women nowadays, most Gen Z women, go to feminism? Where did it come from? Who's indoctrinating them with this idea?
I think the people that are promoting this know that they need to convince every generation about a fear that they can never experience to realize the truth. So they're gonna fake it that it's even worse. Because the people that I know that have experienced such a thing, they're not even radical feminists at all. By my logic, most people that follow feminism doesn't even follow it because they have experienced something that bad. It's just they made something so simple that can be labeled as such a negative thing, and they actually start believing it without actually experiencing something that gangster. And it becomes a powerful thing because you can actually control men, especially now that don't even have testosterone. It doesn't make any sense. There was a point I remember that I was maybe in my 20s and I didn't want to watch any movie because all the movies were laughing at men. The Kings of something, Simpson, is all fat men simping after their wives, but they still feel have a manly moment that we're gonna give them some positive points. And I'm like, yo, what the heck is this? I don't want to be like those men. But if a man keeps saving a woman in a unique way, you're like, yo, I don't want that. Why does he have to save him every time? You know how many men die in a movie right now? Because the woman always survives in the most unique, lucky way. But it was her energy. She doesn't have a backstory because she was born powerful. It's not like Spider-Man loses a person or Batman or whatever, or Hulk can't control his anger because her father was an alcoholic and beat the mom. No, she's like, yeah, man, tell me how to do my job and I'm gonna turn greed rarer. I'm like, what the heck is this, bro?
Fuck.
A lot of people were getting...
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
You're good.
A lot of people were getting upset at me at my feminism video for saying that I didn't want... They were taking my words out of context and saying that I didn't want anyone to have equal rights and I didn't want equality of opportunity, but that's not what I said at all. You know, I think now in the West we are extremely privileged and have even more privileges than men at times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, a kid got raped by a woman. The woman went to prison. The kid was 16. She came out the prison. The kid had to pay child support when he's 18. When people see that, you know what they say? Hey, it's a collateral damage. It's okay. The laws are bad, but we need to keep the current laws because, hey man, we need to defend all women. It's like a pressure cooker, and when they explode, you keep arresting them. And now people are actually worried sometimes that if a war ever came, we don't have enough masculine men that want to defend a woman. And all the alphas that are out there, because they have been treated like poo-poo, they're like, hey man, if you want to send me to war, you're gonna have to blah blah, because I'm not gonna defend people that never appreciate me. Well, it's my human right. Yes, everybody has a human right to not be treated like shit.
we're not, like, we've already achieved equality, you know, we don't need to like keep holding on to that. Where did it come from? I think...
You're talking about Rockefeller, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one because Rockefeller funded these feminist campaigns. I think that it was definitely used as a tool to break up the family unit because, you know, that is strength, and there's a lot that's happening in our society right now to break apart the family unit and to de-emasculate men, and, you know, men's testosterone levels are declining rapidly. I mean, women are becoming more...
Masculine.
Yeah, we're becoming more masculine. We're not...
I was a feminine man. I recognized that, and I labeled it also to my voice because it was actually very feminine, 100%. Until I met a woman that I never approached because I thought it's going to be like, whoa, the word that I'm not allowed to say, right? And yeah, meeting her, starting the way funky foofy, having fun. She was a very nice, chill, also feminist, but she was a little more different, a little more radical responsibility. Let's just say that. She definitely was that. And for some odd reason, I don't know if my testosterone started growing or whatever, changes. Hey man, everybody told me when they saw me after 6 years, they're like, what the heck did you do? I was like, I don't know. I just met a woman that saw something in me and made me believe in myself.
This harmonizing unit. And
that's the misconception about feminism, is that men and women aren't equal, and we're not equal, but we just have different roles. Men are supposed to be the fathers and women are supposed to be the mothers, but women have internalized this idea that being a mother and being a woman is being oppressed.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that idea?
Yeah, definitely.
No,
And
do you agree that even though we might not be equal, we have different roles? The importance of a role of a man and a woman is equal. We both have equal responsibility to be fathers and to be mothers. Is that true?
And I don't think that there's there's always going to be exceptions, you know, women that really are meant for this particular role, or women that really enjoy working for the man. But I think that if most girls were truly honest with themselves, a lot of people just want to be nurturing and take care of a family and embrace that role. And I think, if you could choose between working at a club or at your cafe for however long you're working at versus raising a family, that is the most important job in the world. So I think most people, if they were honest with themselves, would agree with that.
this is bad. Do you know what I see? I see somebody has placed a mask on you. You start believing in that mask, that you have to be a boss babe in a business with feminism. And whenever you feel that the mask is gonna go off, you get angry because you're like, no, what the heck? They put this in me. What? You put the mask on and back. And I'm like, hey, you just do you. But the idea that somebody force me, guides me, inform me, dilute the information so I do something that I don't agree with, I don't want to be part of that. That is so misleading, and it shouldn't be empowering.
But it's hard because you don't want to start a family and have that role with some guy
that can't survive the apocalypse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, but that's like why hookup culture is so bad, because we're like allowing men to, be low value, and we're giving that to them.
True.
Which is, we don't want that. We want everyone to harmonize their roles and work together. And if you're just sleeping around with Craig, who is at the club every weekend sleeping with another girl, that's like not good for either of you.
You don't want people to see you sexualized, but then you promote yourself in a sexual way. I'm like, what do you want us to do? You want us to just see you naked or half naked and be like it's normal, and then go outside and never have this funky feeling? I mean, we watch you because you're beautiful for the funky. Not like, oh, you're just beautiful, that's it. No, come on. There's so many grannies or aunties in the 30s, 40s sees a little boy that might be 10 or something and be like, ooh, oh, you're gonna be beautiful someday. When you're 80, give me a freaking call. I'm like, dude, what the heck is this? I can't do that to a girl, right? The world is so freaking unfair. You can do some nasty stuff, assuming that a man will like it, because all men just like it anyway.
And you definitely don't want to be starting a family with Craig.
With Craig? What's wrong with Craig?
Craig that goes to the clubs every weekend to sleep with some...
Yo, fuck Craig, chat. Craig K.
Major L.
Major L. Yeah, L Craig. You got it. When did you realize this? And what I want to... Maybe this information can help a lot of people. What flipped a switch in your brain to go from a blue-haired feminist to a woman that wants to raise a family?
Well, I think I've always been a relationship person, but I realized that a lot of the guys that I was dating or being attracted to were like they weren't in their masculine. They were quite feminine men.
What's a red flag? How can you tell a feminine man?
Well, I actually just noticed that my attraction to men changed significantly from coming off birth control. They have studies to show that birth control changes the way that you view men as attractive. And when you're on hormonal birth control, women tend to be attracted to more feminine guys. So like feminine facial structures, feminine appearances, I find really interesting. But what triggered the shift?
You, from the 100 men that are there, for example, you tell them, don't shower for 3 days, give me all your shirt, I'm gonna put them in a separate bag. The 100 women are gonna smell all the bag, and whatever they choose that smells in a specific way, most of them choose the delicious smelling men. And for some odd reason, when they have babies with these men, they realize, yo, your immune system would be stronger because you don't have this vitamin. He has that. And he doesn't have these vitamins in his immune system, but you have. So you mix and create a good child. But of some of the girls, they were like, you keep choosing random stuff that doesn't make any sense. And it seems that it changes your hormones inside, so you start choosing the wrong men. There are even men that can confirm this, that when they are with their girl with birth control consistently, once she was off, especially when they want to have a baby or after the baby they're not funky, she doesn't even feel attracted to the man anymore, and it actually affects their relationship. So there's a whole rabbit hole there that nobody really wants to talk about because it empowers women. But then again, you are not creating a society that's going to benefit in general and be independent. And when I heard about this news, I went immediately to my wife. Hey, when we met, were you using birth control? She was, no. I never used birth control when we were together. We tried it for a month, but I kept forgetting to take the pill and we panicked, so I stopped. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember. So she likes me!
I guess the pandemic, coming off birth control, being exposed to new media, I think, we have this confirmation bias to just keep consuming media that agrees with our views. And I think if you can actually take a step back and just explore what's around and realize that, like, I mean, I am 20 and you're not so set in your ways that you can't completely change
True.
how you feel. Admit that you're wrong about certain things.
Hey.
So yeah, so many different factors, but it all just kind of came about because of the pandemic and exploring content, media, assessing where I was at with my life. Why am I attracting these weak men?
The soy boys.
You know, it's not. Yeah, I'm doing that to myself.
I have a mostly male audience. I'm wondering, can you tell these guys in here watching, and for me, I'm curious to what you think a feminine guy is.
Like, for example, the other day, I was at the beach and we were all sitting by a fireplace, a mix of girls and boys, and you know, the fire was just like dwindling out, and you know, none of the men stood up and wanted to do anything about it. They didn't want to help. I think that a man
takes charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, a man takes charge, a man leads, and a woman can, females can.
Yeah, they can just live a chill life. I mean, it's good. I mean, why not? A lot of men would like to have a life of a chill wife. Just chill at home, clean it a little, and when the wife comes from work, let's have funky, and that's it. And take care of the kids. I mean, they don't see it as a bad choice. Remember, back in the day, we didn't work 8 hours. We worked 10 or 12 hours. So there's a weird thing that we see right now in society, that everybody is so privileged that they assume, hey man, when things go bad, hey, we can just app for a firewood and a lighter. Nobody knows how to do anything. I actually think that the fact that I grew this beard is just because I had a girlfriend that made me feel and wanted me to be like a man, because I didn't even know how to be it. She just said me, no, you have to do these things. You're the man. And I started doing things. And I guess my testosterone grew.
Females can surrender to somebody leading them if they're doing it for the greater good, if they're showing that they have positive
feedback
qualities.
Yeah. Remember when I said I know how to start a fire? Yeah, no, I'm just irrelevant point.
I guess.
Is there any immediate red flags? Like what about you could probably sniff it immediately. I think the nature of a woman could sniff out the testosterone in a man within the first couple seconds. You can decide if a man is attractive or not.
Yeah, I think so too. I think immediate red flags is like, I don't want to say, because if you want to wear nail polish, awesome. But the only guys that I've seen that wear nail polish have like used it because they know that women will think that they're more open-minded, so they're using it as a way to like, you know.
Lasanabi. Yeah, Lasanabi. Yeah.
It's
Lasanabi. Yeah.
What did you say?
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there's people.
Yeah, it's just a term that he takes any name, and if you're a loser because you're so feminine, he just puts an L. So if my name is Fabian, he would call me Labian. You know.
People who we know some streamers who have painted nails, and you're saying that that's a red flag, that it's a guy trying to be like, oh look, I'm one of the good guys, I'm on your side, I'm in touch with my feminine, but it's like you're just pandering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like red flags when you go on a date with someone, like I don't know, I think it's like a nice thing to do if they pay for the date, for example. You know, I've been on dates where I've paid for things and I brought them home and it's like
disgusting.
I guess I was lucky because I had like a sugar mama. She had a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of money. I was studying. But I was just very funny and willing to explore my masculine side in ways that I never thought was needed. And she just got hooked. She was like, I don't know, you bring such a stability in my life that I don't actually want to date anymore. My friends want to date, my feminist friends, and they start hating her. And she actually lost all those feminists that hated her. She just said one day, I don't want to be around them anymore. Let's go to Spain. Do you want to go live in Spain with me? Finish your study. Let's go. And I went. Look, we don't even compete with the role that we're supposed to do by society, but with time, when we spend it with each other, we actually kind of change roles. I'm more responsible about the money, she's more responsible about the house, but I like to do the dishes, so she cooks. I can cook, but she knows I hate it, but we adapt when one is sick or not. I don't know, I help with the babies. Amen. It's all about the choices that you make, man.
Just like on the first date, it's not a good impression, and
No.
that's not saying that I'm a gold digger or anything. It's just like, you know, the men are the protectors, they're the providers, and if you as a woman are deciding, oh, I want to go here, or like taking charge in that situation, I think that's like, you know, that's not what I want in a dynamic. Yeah, so I guess that would be like a feminine man to me, personally.
Why is there a spiritual warfare going on? Why do you think that they're trying to destroy the family from the inside out by masculinizing women and feminizing men?
The answer is rather easy. They don't like revolts. All the things that they're doing right now, you would never be able to do that because men would revolt saying that, hey governors, you are serving me. We are not serving you. So you're not going to tell us how we have to live, how we have to do our things. That does not make any sense. But we came to this way of thinking how women fight each other by shaming each other, putting women in such power, and right now they're telling men how to think, how to feel, what is good and what is not, but at the same time they're obeying the government like a masculine man that is telling a woman how they should do their things. But just because a few women are in the position of power in the government, now it's okay to treat the whole people like that. And now these women are like a second-class citizens, men are like a third class, and if you don't believe it, hey, you have your choice. But I see it different because there's a lot of consequences that can change my life in way drastic ways that it doesn't change to a woman. If you watch the commercial about China, how the army is preparing to recruit people, you want to be Chinese. If you watch the Russian one, you want to drink vodka or become Russian. Or both. But if you watch the American, you might be a gay that date each other and you want to fight for equality and all that stupid stuff. And I'm like, yo. I don't go shoot the person and I put hands up. Which gender do you identify before I shoot you? Tell me. No, man, that doesn't make any sense. You watch the commercial, it's like you don't want to be a soldier. It's like you're gonna want to work at the HR department. What the heck are you talking about? An equity department. It's stupid. And when I say that, everyone, nobody is demasculating people. We're not doing anything in movies. I'm like, what do you mean? Look at Lord of the Rings. Like, share, hit the bell notification. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. I thought it was interesting to get the perspective of a woman that doesn't say that feminism is bad. It's just the feminism that she followed, which was modern feminism, was doing way more damage to her. She was a vegan and this and that. Yeah, with a vegan we have a good body, bada beep, bada boom. But it gave you way other mental health stuff. And I'm like, damn. But hey, kudos to her. She glows. She's a gem in my perspective. And back in my day, women were like that. When in the 80s, 90s, they were like that. Woo! Sorry guys, you guys have to choose. You have different options that I'm just happy I'm not in that period, because this period sucks to find a woman as a partner.